So, this is the first episode of the Anti-NIMBYism project. It's something I'm very excited about and something I came up with recently to help educate the community about the homeless and substance affected So this is the first episode of the Anti-NIMBYism project. This is something that I'm very excited about, and I'm really excited to start getting going. And I think it's gonna do really well, and I'm really hoping that everyone is interested in following along and listening to what I have to say. My name's Hannah. I work in social services, and I have for years now. Specifically, I work in the field of addictions and mental health and homelessness. And my role is essentially a case manager in an addictions clinic. And my role consists of helping folks who are addicted mostly to fentanyl, also crystal meth, and other substances, who are mostly unhoused. I help them to find housing or work on securing housing or getting income, IDs, stuff like that. That's my day job. That's what I do 9 to 5 every day. And I love it, and I really love working with this population, but I'm hurting to see how much these folks are stigmatized in the community, and I feel greatly like my work and my colleagues' work and most everybody's work in this field is really just putting a band-aid on such a bigger social issue. And my passion, what I really want to do, is to help educate the community and make sure that the level of stigma is kept to a minimum, because I don't think that folks understand how greatly damaging stigma is, and just how powerful it is for these individuals, and how much pain they're enduring because of the stigma that they receive in the community. So the reason for doing this podcast was because I felt like I needed to feel like I was doing something more than just putting a band-aid on a bigger issue, and really finding my voice and wanting to educate the community in a bigger way about what I see every day and what I hear every day, and how we can really help this huge social issue that we see every single day. We all see it. We all see the encampments. We all see the addiction and the mental health. And there's so much that we can do to help these folks. And I really want to work on letting people know how we can get there and the steps that we can take to making the community and society as a whole like a safer place for everybody. So I got the idea for this podcast recently when I was having a conversation with my 8-year-old about addiction. He's really interested in this topic right now, and we were talking about addiction and how people get addicted to substances and how people find themselves without a home. And I was truly inspired by how receptive he was to having this conversation, and how he just understood it on such a deep level, and with just such a pure virgin brain that he was able to bring in this information in ways that most adults can't. And I thought, if my 8-year-old can understand how a person can end up in these situations, then everyone should be able to understand that. And it should be easy for people to understand how human beings, any of us, could end up in these situations. I think the biggest thing that we encounter in our lives when we're dealing with this kind of social issue, or when we're encountering folks in encampments, or seeing someone on the street doing something quote unquote crazy, or seeing people smoking out of a meth pipe, our first instinct is to say, wow, that person's really messed up, and I can't believe they're doing that. And I think what we really need to unpack here is that if you even have the capacity to think that way, you are incredibly privileged, and you should really take some time to acknowledge how privileged you are to even have those thoughts, because folks that are in these situations don't have these thoughts. They never had the opportunity to have these thoughts about other people, because this is just their lives, and they've been through so many traumas, and trauma after trauma after trauma, that this isn't surreal to them anymore. Or maybe it never was, but they don't think that this stuff is messed up, because this is just their reality. This is what they've always lived with. So I decided to call this the Anti-NIMBYism project, because the term NIMBY is my favorite acronym in this field. It stands for Not in My Backyard, and it can be described in a lot of different situations, but typically in this field we talk about NIMBYism a lot with encampments and safe injection sites and all those sorts of things, because it seems that folks are happy to want to give these individuals the opportunity to get better and the tools that they need to get better, but they just don't want to see it. They don't want to see the encampments. They don't want to see the safe injection sites. They don't want to see the clean needles. They don't want to see any of the harm reduction supplies. They just don't want to see it. They don't want to know it's there. But they still say that they want folks to get better. So NIMBYism is a tough thing to unfold and unpack, because it's really if everybody had the attitude of, well, let them do it, but don't let them do it here, well, then where are they going to do it? Where are they going to put their tents? Where are they going to inject their substances safely? Where are they going to be supervised while they do that? Where are they going to be safe? And if everybody wants them to go somewhere else, then they're going to have nowhere to go. And it's so important to me that I help people understand why NIMBYism is so damaging to this community, because they feel so unwanted everywhere they go, and they're running out of places to go, and it's getting to the point where they're not accessing hospitals when they're in life-threatening conditions, and they're not accessing the safe injection sites, and they're dying on the streets from overdoses, or they're not getting sustainable healthcare because they're scared of being stigmatized, because the hospital is in a place that they're worried about people stigmatizing them. It's an endless cycle of issues, and I really am strongly passionate about bringing down these barriers and eliminating NIMBYism completely. And I really want that to be the main focus of this podcast, and that is the passion behind this. So this is just an introduction, and I'm gonna unpack this a lot more as the episodes go on, but I just wanted to introduce myself and talk about what I do and what this podcast is gonna look like and what to expect in the future episodes. And yeah, I look forward to going along this journey with everyone who's willing to listen to me, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to help educate.